Now, Rose, whenever we get you on the show, I really love talking about this because it is something that doesn't get talked about enough on telly, which is the number of people that are having a real trouble renting a place in Australia. Rental availability is at its rock bottom level right now in places like Sydney, the Gold Coast, and you name it, in a lot of regional areas. How do we fix this? Because simply there's a lot of people who own a house but choose to go for the Airbnb route. We're also not building things that are overtly for investors to be able to turn around and turn them into renting. So how do we improve the number of places people can rent?
Yeah, I love that you're so passionate about housing, Paul, and I think that it is something that, a lot of people, as they're sitting around, in their houses feeling increasingly insecure about their housing arrangements. Not only is rental availability at an all-time low, we've seen double-digit rental increases across many areas in, major cities and in regions. And so it is becoming more difficult to afford a place, and it's becoming more difficult to find a place. And that is leading to a situation where families with two working parents, people have got jobs, Paul. They've done the right thing. They've gone out there, they've got a job, they're working. They cannot afford the rent anymore. They're living in tents and cars. Working people in our communities living in tents and cars because of the rental crisis. We just urgently need more stock. We urgently need more affordable rental stock, not just in our cities, in our regions as well. You mentioned the Gold Coast. There are areas up and down the New South Wales coast that are impacted on this as well. We also need to change our residential tenancy laws to provide renters more protection. I was speaking to some pensioners from Nambucca on the mid-north coast a few weeks ago. They've been living in the same place for 17 years, paying the rent reliably, looking after the place. They're about to be evicted on no grounds. They don't have anywhere to go. They're facing homelessness. These are people that have worked their entire lives for our country. The fastest growing group of homeless in our community is older women, and it is because rentals are becoming unaffordable. So it's great to continue to have a platform to hammer our political leaders of all persuasions about the rental affordability and availability crisis.
Bloody Senator Nampijinpa Price, sorry, darling. What's it like in the ACT, in the Northern Territory, in Alice Springs? Is it really hard to find a rental there?
Yeah, look, it's a difficult situation in the Northern Territory and places like Alice Springs as well. The availability of rentals and the price of rentals has certainly gone up too in places like Alice Springs. And we've got a situation where, we do need to be able to expand. We do need to be able to build, but we've got so much land in the Northern Territory, but it's largely landlocked. And there's so many processes that you have to go to unlock land, to build on land in the first place. But these are all things that need to be looked at, that need to be able to support those trying to, participate in the rental market going forward. And not just the rental market, it's also, purchasing homes in the Northern Territory is difficult as well. We need to be able to build more homes in places like Alice Springs and throughout the Northern Territory, and be able to have better access to land to do so.
Madam, I'm about to get in trouble for this. I hated everything about Bill Shorten except for one half of one idea, which is I hated what he was trying to do with negative gearing when it came to people buying investment properties. But I liked the idea that the scheme would still remain for people to buy new properties. Can and should we fiddle with the negative gearing tax benefits for people who buy a brand new place with the express purpose of renting it out?
Look, I don't believe in that, Paul, because once you start mucking around with these things, you destroy confidence in investors, because how do you know a future government is not going to change the tax system again? What we need here, and I don't think these things are rocket science, it's basic economics. When you restrict the supply of a thing, the price of that thing goes up. We just spoke about energy. That's exactly what's happening in energy markets. We're not building enough energy, reliable energy, but the price of it's going up. And the same in housing. Obviously, that's being exacerbated in the rental market, but it's very hard to buy as well for people because local governments, state governments in particular, have not been releasing enough land. It's a lot of red tape, a lot of cost, and that pushes up the price of housing. So we've got to actually get back to understanding that to get prices down, to get people affordable cost of living, we actually have to produce things. We have to have a productive economy. Fiddling with the tax system is not going to change that. It comes down to basic demand and supply.